Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh no, now my voice is going. Thank you for letting me know, everyone. Okay. Sound's on now. Check. This technology thing, it's a good thing I meditate, because the technology thing has been a real hurdle. So thank you all for your patience in helping me out. As I was saying, good morning to you. Happy day 5. And I would love to know how you're doing, whether it be just how am I doing in life or how you are doing with the meditations. So if any questions have come up for you, please feel free to drop them in the comments and let me know, and I'll do my best at the end of today's meditation to answer those questions for you. Hopefully it's going well. I'm glad to see that you all are here to meditate. So day 5 is a candlelight meditation. Ding. So you are going to need a candle. If you have a tea light that is preferred, or a candle where you can see the open flame, that's best. If not, no worries. If you don't have a candle at all, you can just pick a focal point, okay? But let's go over the placement of our candle so that you can start getting set up before I dive in. You're going to want your candle, so figure out where you're going to be sitting for your meditation. Start to set up your cushions, or however you sit, in a chair or lying. For this one, you should be sitting up, so if you typically lie down, you might want to sit in a chair. And you want your candle, if your chin is level to the ground and the shoulders are dropped down, you want the candle to be somewhere 45 degrees in front of you, but where you can see it without straining the eyes. You'll just be gazing gently downwards, okay? So play around with the placement, and it should be somewhere where your eyes settle naturally. So while you're getting that set up, I am just going to start to dive into this technique. It's a very ancient technique, so I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of its history, and then my sort of theory as to why it works both in your mind and in your body, okay? So hunt around for your candle, start getting set up, and you can listen to me in the background. This technique, this candlelight meditation, is traditionally what you would call a shot karma in yoga. And the shot karmas are cleansing techniques. So your neti pot, which is for cleansing out the nasal passageway, that's a shot karma. The candlelight meditation is meant to release tears, right? We'll do a little bit of some staring, and it might make your eyes a little watery. And it is more of an advanced technique that we might not get to quite today. If that starts to happen to you, that's totally fine. But traditionally, that's what it was, is to cleanse out your tears and to be cleansing both emotionally, but also physically. Your tears and the salt, they say, is good to clear out those passageways. So that's its history. It's this ancient shot karma technique. And my modern take on this, right, because as you do this technique, it is almost hypnotic, right? I love this technique because it is sort of magical. And that's because, like your breath, this technique also works with your autonomic nervous responses. So what do I mean by that? Your breath, right, is typically an unconscious behavior. So too is your digestion, so too is your blinking, right? A lot of these things that happen to you without having to consciously think about them, and thank goodness, otherwise you'd be going around in your brain thinking like, okay, breathe in, breathe out, and digest my food, right? And you'd have to consciously think about those things, and that would just be very silly. So thank goodness for that. But the breath is special because I can consciously control my breath. Right? And so too is your blinking. I can consciously blink, even though typically it's an unconscious behavior. So when we bring our conscious attention into controlling behaviors that are typically unconscious, we sort of tap into those autonomic responses, if you will, and it allows us to access them. And your body and your mind are all interconnected. So when you start breathing in a certain rhythmic pattern, right? Your heartbeat starts to align, and things that you wouldn't notice, like your digestion and your blinking, align. That's why in the previous meditations, we started off our meditation by breathing in and you gaze, and breathing out and the eyes closed, right? We've done this technique a few times. And this technique originates from this candlelight meditation. So as we control our blinking, as you control the direction of your eyes consciously, you'll start to tap into that and slow the heartbeat, slow the breath. Everything starts to slow down. The last part of this very magical meditation, right, is that it allows you to practice focus. Practice focusing. Focus has been said to be the first step in meditation. And why would focus precede your meditation? Well, focus is drawing all of your mental facilities to one thing. It's exercising control over the mind. So I hope that you are mostly set up by now. If anybody has questions about the setup, please, again, I'm paying attention to that comment section, but it looks like we're doing pretty good. So go ahead and head over to your meditation cushion. Allow yourself to come into a comfortable meditative seat. And if you haven't already, go ahead and light your candle. Again, if you don't have a candle, start to pick your focal point. And if you're picking a focal point, you want it to be very specific, okay? One particular point. And we're going to let the chin become really level to the ground, and the shoulders are going to drop down, right? And we'll begin as we have before, just drawing all of your attention to your candle. And we're going to begin by breathing in, gazing at the candle, and breathing out, the eyes close. Breathing in, gaze, and breathing out, the eyes close. And you're going to continue just like this. Breathing in, gazing, and breathing out, closing the eyes. Just like that. Keep all of your attention on that candle. In and out. Open the eyes and close the eyes. And start to allow this process to become a little slower. Breathing in. Allow yourself to stare for a moment and hold the breath. And breathing out, really slowly blink the eyes closed. Very good. Breathing in nice and slow. Back to the focal point. And breathing out, the eyes soft close. Really slow it down. Now I want you to start to stare at the candle a little longer before closing your eyes. Take a few softer breaths. The breath is going to become a little more natural here. You're just going to gaze, staring at the candle. And when you want to close the eyes, you're going to do so with intention, breathing out. And then again, the eyes open. Allow yourself to stare at the flame, watching it dance. One particular point on the flame, for just as long as is comfortable. You can still blink, but keep your eyes and all of your attention on that one particular point. And then when you feel the need to close the eyes, you do so on purpose. Take a breath in and let them fall closed. Breathing in, gaze. See if you can hold out just even a little bit longer before intentionally closing the eyes. Again, you can still blink, but try to keep all of your attention and focus on that one particular point on the flame. If you feel your attention break, or again the urge to close your eyes, just do so with intention. And then blinking the eyes open once more. Now see if you can really resist the urge to blink here. Just very calmly let the blinking really slow down. And when you do need to blink, that's okay. Just do so with intention. Close the eyes and open again. It's okay if your eyes start to water or tear up. And as you're staring, I want you now to focus even smaller. See if you can get really particular on the point of the candle of which you're focusing. The tip of the flame, the tip of the wick. See if you can hone in on that focal point. And keep all of your mind's attention there. If you find the mind to wander as you're doing this exercise, you can always bring it back to the breath in your candle. Now as you focus on this point, I'll begin to count backwards from 5. And not now, but the moment that I reach 1, your eyes will fall closed. And when you do, when those eyes close on the count of 1, you'll feel yourself deeply, deeply relaxed, both in the mind and the body. And I count 5, still focusing on your candle. 4, 3, take a deep breath in. 2, an audible exhale. And 1, let the eyes fall closed. And when your eyes close, you'll notice that there's sort of a negative impression of the candle in the mind's eye. Focus there on that negative image until it softly fades. Once it fades, we'll repeat this again. Once it fades, you can open your eyes and focus once more on your candle. Once the image has faded, just very gently blink the eyes open and return the gaze. Blinking very slowly or resisting the urge completely. staring at that one particular focal point. And we'll repeat the process again. Not now, but in a moment, I'll begin to count backwards from 5. And not now, but the moment that I reach 1, your eyes will close, and you'll find yourself deeply relaxed in the mind and the body. And I count 5, focus on your flame. 4, 3, take a deep breath in. 2, an audible exhale. And 1, let the eyes fall closed. Again, focus on the negative image of the candle in the mind's eye. Once it fades, disappears, you'll very gently and with intention blink the eyes open. We'll take a few moments here to repeat this process on your own, of gazing, of closing the eyes, watching the image fade, and then opening them once more at your own pace. Wherever you're at within your meditation and that process of blinking and opening the eyes, go ahead and return back to your candle. We're just going to begin by deepening the breath here. Breathe in a little deeper and audibly out. In a little deeper. Never forced, but just on purpose. And you might notice as you breathe the candle moving with your breath. And once more, I'm going to begin to count backwards, but this time when I reach 1, you'll begin to feel very awake. You'll break your focus with your candle. And you'll be more aware of your space here and now. And I count 5, your focus is still on the candle. 4, notice your body sitting on the ground. 3, take a deep breath in. 2, an audible exhale. and 1. Break your focus and blink, blink, blink the eyes. Look around the room, left, right, left, right. Look around the room, up, down, up, down. Circle your eyes around one way and the other. If you were here yesterday, you know a little bit about why we're doing this, right? Go ahead, take this right hand and just rinse it down the face, and your left hand and rinse it down the face. You can stretch and adjust and move as you so need. I just want to explain the last little part of this meditation before we blow our candles out. The last part of this meditation, and the reason why it is so special, is because within it holds a certain metaphor for meditation as a whole. And part of the reason that we meditate is to feel more connected, to experience that unity, if you will. And as we meditate, as you breathe in, as you breathe out, right, and the candles flame, you are sharing in some sort of metaphorical way your experience with this candle, right? And it is to say that you do not live in a vacuum, that your life is both the world outside of you and your internal world, right? And it is to say that, matter is neither created nor destroyed. And in that respect, we are all connected. So as you blow out your flame and the smoke emits into your room and you breathe in and you breathe out, you realize your actual connection to both your experience and the candle. Does that make sense? So as you lean forward, what you want to do is you want to watch the smoke of the flame come out from your candle and spread into the room, right? The candle does not merely disappear, but rather it changes, right? And so too, through the process of meditation, we transform. So, lean forward, blow out your candle. With a deep breath, you take it in and let go. Watch the smoke rise. Fill the room. And know that as you breathe in and breathe out, that you are very connected to the world and the universe around you. Thank you all very, very much for being here. A couple of announcements. If you would like to make donations to this event or to this class, I've left you a link in the description. If you would like to access recordings of this meditation or all of my classes, I post those on Patreon. There's a link for that as well. We have a little book club going on every Wednesday and meditations every Monday. Does anybody have any questions about this technique or ones that we've done previously? I'll sort of pause here and give us a moment to get those going in the comments. Let me know too how you feel about this technique, or which one's been your favorite so far. What has worked for you? What's been a little harder? Jasmine says, I've always struggled with the audible exhale. Am I missing this important part, or is it okay to be quiet? The audible exhale, you just want to, when you do an H sound, the reason it's audible is because it's sort of in the back of the throat. So if your audible exhale is not audible, right? It's probably because you're not constricting the throat in the same way. It's supposed to sort of round in the mouth, and it's supposed to be a warm breath. So if you're breathing, right, or you can feel that in the back of the throat. So try to think about an H, but if you are still thinking about that H and it's not coming out with the same sound, that's probably okay. The important part is just that it feels releasing. Thanks for your question, Jasmine. I hope that answers you, your question there. Yesterday was your favorite, Kylie? Good. Yesterday is one of my favorite techniques too. I use that, like I said, I think I told you, I use that at the end of my meditation every time, because I think it's a good way to sort of ground yourself before heading out into the day. You can't mentally exhale. I see what you mean. Okay, so let's think about this. sometimes, when you're in that like rhythm, that calm state, it is hard to like sort of disrupt that pattern maybe of that natural breath. And you don't want to pull the audible exhale. Doing that inhale, audible exhale is supposed to wake you up a little bit, right? Pull you out of that rhythm that you've got, right? Because as I was saying before, we're trying to create a rhythm within our autonomic nervous system, right? And that means that you want to breathe rhythmically and you want to blink rhythmically. And we're trying to do everything in this pattern so that the rest of your systems align and slow down. So when you take that big deep breath, it disrupts that pattern. And it is supposed to wake you up a little. So I think it's okay if it's a little mentally uncomfortable for you to be like, or if it feels a little unnatural, because it is supposed to wake you up. I'm trying to pull, when I'm counting backwards and I do that 3, 2, 1, I'm trying to wake you up and pull you out of that state. So you go, right, and you get a little more awake. So does that help? Let me know. The feedback is appreciated. Any thoughts too on previous meditations are welcome. Somebody asked yesterday about their seat, and I apologize, I can't remember who it was. I was wondering how that was doing for you, the meditative seat, if anybody is physically uncomfortable, or if you are starting to get a little more comfortable with the meditative position, because that can be a big hurdle for people in their practice. Yes, Jasmine, keep practicing. Let me know next time. If you hop on tomorrow, let me know how it works for you. Kylie, how was it then? How was sitting today? That's good. There are a bunch of different positions, like you can sit on your knees, you can lie down, you can sit in a chair. There's so many different ways to go about it. It really is kind of an experiment in trying to figure out what works best for you. But also too, there is something to be said about that hurdle. Like, your body will over time become more and more comfortable with that seated position. However, it does, and it can take away from your meditation those first stages. So if you find it doing that with our exercises and you just want to get into that mental state, it's perfectly okay for you to lie down or use a chair. Trying a different position today, it seemed more comfortable. I have a meditation cushion, but I have a hard time feeling comfortable on it. Thank you, Sophia. So there are so many different cushions. Sometimes if your cushion has beans in it, you can take out the beans or add more beans, okay? The other thing that you want to think about is your blood flow. So a lot of people, your blood flow and where you're using your muscles, because you want your seat to be very passive. You shouldn't be using any muscles, and your blood flow should be able to get down to your lower extremities. So you want your cushion to elevate your hips slightly above your knees, okay? If your knees are floating, try to push something under there to support your knees so that you're not using your hip flexors. The other thing is to make sure you're not sitting on your tailbone. If you're sitting on your tailbone, your shoulders are going to drop forward and the back is going to round, and you're going to find tension here and possibly again in the hips, because your knees will lift up even higher. So you want to be sitting on more of the flat part of your bottom. Does that help? Okay, Abigail says, keeping my eyes open on the focus flame. Wow, so hard, but for sure my mind stays quiet for a while. Yes, so all of the meditations that require focus in your attention, they are difficult, and that's okay. Some meditations are meant to be very easy and relaxing, but this one, it's okay if it's a little more mentally straining, because we're exercising that focus muscle, right? And like you said, it does keep your mind quiet because it's capturing all of your attention. Sophia says, I have to use my back muscles to stay up, and it takes away from the meditation experience. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that you want to play around with. So the other technique in Zen meditation that might be good for you, especially if you feel your back is not aligned, is once you sit on your cushion, you close your eyes and you start with big circles, and you're going to feel that in your hips, and then you're going to go a little bit smaller, a little smaller, and you want this to be really slow, so take some time before you head over to your cushion. Before you start your meditation, give yourself some time to go really slowly, and you're trying to look for a place. And the metaphor that was used for me was like a bamboo stick, where it just stands right up on its end and it's not going to tip over one way or the other. If you feel yourself pulling, or like you have to hold yourself up, then it's definitely good to experiment with some different meditative seated positions. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate your questions. I hope that answers most of them. And I would love to hear tomorrow how you're feeling with those adjustments, both in your seat and your breathing. And I will see you all tomorrow. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Nope, I think that's it. Namaste, everybody, and I hope you have a good day. We'll go to our little cute end screen here. Goodbye, everyone.